This isn't the video I intended to make this weekend, but I got hurt at work a little bit. Nothing major, but it did slow me down. So today, instead of showing you how to make the rigatoni pasta pie, maybe next week, going for just a bike ride. And gonna try and scope out some industrial ruins, abandoned buildings, that sort of stuff. Why all the death and decay? Let's talk about it. An abandoned railroad crossing. Well, by the traffic, semi-abandoned. At least this spur of it probably hasn't been used in decades. But it's the steel in those rails that was forged in the heart of a star billions of years ago, blasted into our planet, into the dust cloud that became our planet by supernova, gathered together, stuck in the ground for so long, and we mined it up, made rails, used those rails, hauled tons of industry or products for industry, made these highway bridges, made bore rails that are still used today. All of this stuff, and yet now left to rot and decay. But it's still the same stuff. It's that kind of stuff that I'm interested in. Not just like dead things and maggots and skulls, which are very interesting in their own right, but it's death as a part of life, death as a process where it's not just the sorrow and loss and misery of that which was alive no longer being, but the entire process of being, where matter can't be created or destroyed, only converted back and forth to energy. You know, that kind of stuff. It's hard to describe, but that's what fascinates me. And this is the perfect place. A semi-abandoned building, a railroad crossing that's disused, and you never know what you're gonna find. I've always been interested in this kind of stuff ever since I was young. You could say I was pretty heavily influenced by the Mad Max series. Before the Fury Road movie came out, fantastic as that movie is. No, I've always been into post-apocalyptic stuff. I've always been interested in where, like, life breaks down. You know, trees fall and rot, mountains crumble, but the things that we make, stuff like this, I've always been interested in the process where that breaks down and what we do with that, when civilization and society starts to crumble and the important symbolic objects that we've made lose their purpose but gain a new purpose and a new utility, where we're forced to be creative to not just survive but to thrive. And that kind of stuff has always fascinated me. That's why I really love this old industrial crap. That's why I've always loved old abandoned railroad things. That big heavy steel that was once iron ore in the ground that we've mined up and processed and used, and then basically left to turn back into a rock. What else is it? And then what do we do with it? What does the rest of the universe do with it? What is it going to be 10,000 years from now after we've blown ourselves up or, poisoned ourselves out of existence? Who knows? But that fascinates me. Always fascinated me. Good job, guy. That's always fascinated me. So, here's one industrial abandoned area, but there's so many more. Let's go. Like this kind of stuff. You don't get to see this by car. You don't get to see this unless you take time to wander and explore on a motorcycle. I have no idea what this is. Some industrial building, maybe a steel depot. Who knows? But looks like they're knocking it down to build something else. Probably condos like everywhere else. But it's amazing. I love it. 350 years ago, that was a swampy, beachy bit of rock. And now it's the port of Baltimore. Huge cargo container ships, all that. What's it going to be 350 years from now? What's it going to be 3,000 years from now? Who knows? But it's just temporary. It's just transient. It's still beautiful. I love it. I love it here. And you can never discover this stuff just wandering around in a car. You need to be on a bike to do it. You need to be out of that little shell and a part of the world that you're running around through. And shout out to Joe and his giant catfish. Good job, Joe. Damn it. That gate over there is standing in my way, and my days of cutting locks and breaking into places where I'm not welcome never happened. I never did anything like that. But, I'm not going to go where I'm not wanted. And what I wanted to show you, and we can come try some other time. Over there, I think it's called Swan Point, is a shipwreck, part of old bridge, railroad lines. Beautiful little place, but not today. That's part of the joy and adventures of motorcycling. Where you think you are going to go, you may not, and no need to be salty about it. Get it? That's salt. Yeah. Of course, what meditation on life and death and the processes of the universe would be complete without a visit to a cemetery. This is one of my favorites. It's a beautiful little quiet spot. It's pretty old. I don't honestly know a lot about it. Shame on me. But a lot of the headstones here are homemade. They're clearly made with a lot of love and not a lot of money. And a lot of the burial sites have sunken in, where the coffins inside have finally given way. And there are some that have no markers at all, just bits of stone, some cylinders, long faded rock. There's a saying, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. And that's pretty true. Starting back with those steel rails and the bones of the deer on the side of that industrial spur. From dust we came and dust we remain. But I want people to think about this. I want people to think about death. Think about their own death. I want you to think about yours. I want you to think about where you've come from, where the very core of your being comes from, where the minerals that make up your bones comes from, and what you're doing here. I want you to think about that. And that's what my art hopefully focuses on and hopefully evokes. In the end, are we just going to be rows of old stones that nobody knows the name of? 200 years from now, are they going to even know that there are stones here? But when I'm too hurt to make art, I look for inspiration in places like this, and places like these abandoned buildings and industrial spurs. And for me, the process of entropy, as frightening as it is, and it's it's that unknown of what happens after we die. And all religion is just guessing. You know, God bless it. But it's that unknown of after we switch off, what happens, what's next. And people don't want to think about it. People don't want to address it. People don't want to get familiar with it. I want you to be comfortable and intimate with it. I want you to think about death as much of a natural part of life as the flowers in the spring. I want you to think about the end of things as beautiful and sometimes loud, sometimes sudden, but necessary as the beginning of things. We can't have life without death, and we can't have death without life. But that's my art in a very dramatic nutshell. It's all about this. And to me, this is very beautiful. And it's not scary. It's not even really sad. It just is. So, thanks for hanging out with me. This may not be terribly exciting a video for all of you, but it was a good and necessary day off for me. I worked yesterday. Even though I was injured, I went and ran a bunch of Saturday calls. And yeah, I needed today. So I hope you are safe and well fed wherever you are. I wish you mucho, mucho, mucho amor. And I can't wait to see you again. I miss you so terribly. Good luck out there.